All right, everyone, coming at you with our September 2024 market stats released right direct from our real estate board. Headline, sales activity picks up in September. Prices ease as conditions favor the buyer. So seemingly two contradictory statements. Sales activity picks up, but prices ease and favor the buyer. So following several months of easing sales, September reported a shift in activity as sales rose over last year's levels. Sales improved across all of the reporting areas within the region and were driven mainly by gains for detached and row homes. Despite the increase in sales, levels remained below long-term trends for the month and did not offset the pullback reported earlier in the year. Year-to-date sales are 4% lower than the year and nearly 28% below long-term trends. So that is the number of sales, 28% below long-term trends. So we have all this inventory, things ain't moving. Further rate cuts, recent price declines, and improving supply choice helped bring more buyers back to the market this month. Keyword there I would say is helped. While this is not a drastic change in the market, it does point to a potential shift in trends, the dreaded P word, potential. Buyer optimism is returning and will likely increase as interest rates continue to decrease. So, a couple things with this statement here. So, improving supply choice helped bring more buyers back to the market this month. So this is one thing that I would agree with. We've seen numerous uptick in activity at all of our open houses, and we've been telling our seller clients for a while now, hey, anybody who is out there looking at houses is legit. They are serious. No one is tire kicking houses right now. And what we're hearing from folks at these open houses are, you know what, yeah, I am qualified to make this purchase and I am looking to purchase, but these particular homes I have been seeing, I haven't seen homes that are justifying the price that sellers are asking for. So yes, buyers are curious. They're willing to get in their car and go out and see houses, but they're still a little bit leery of what they're getting for their dollar. Now, what else in here? While this is not a drastic change in the market, it does point to a potential shift in trends. So potential is one of those words that we see a lot of. Everything has potential, But what I'll say is this, rate cuts don't really matter if incomes haven't kept up with prices. Even if you purchase a home that has lowered off the peak, you're still carrying a significant monthly payment, which is a huge financial drag. Rates could go to zero, and if you're carrying massive amounts of debt and leverage to fund your lifestyle with the increased cost of living, it doesn't really matter, if you already have a huge financial commitments every month just to carry your existing debt load. Rising sales were met with further gains in new listings and inventory levels, causing the months of supply to remain relatively high at 5 months. The persistent buyer market conditions witnessed over the last several months continue to weigh on home prices, and this is true. So the homes that we are selling are getting close to, late 2019, early 2020 prices. People are saying, you know what, we're going to let them go for this. There is a lot of homes on the market right now that what I would call are aspirationally priced. Sellers are asking way too much. Typically what we're seeing is, homes are listed one kind of price factor a little bit too high. So, if your home is worth $700,000, you should probably be listed at $649 rather than at $749. Get below whatever increment you need to be in. Get people through your home. Start generating traffic. Start generating offers. Because typically what we're seeing is in neighborhoods, a lot of homes at the same price, buyers going through and saying, no, I'm not going to pay for this. It's not happening. So continue to weigh on home prices. This is actually very, very true. So we're seeing a lot more inventory. We're seeing prices coming back down to, levels, pre the 2021, 2022 frenzy. And sellers are making concessions in order to get the deal done. Unless you have a spectacular, unique house, or, you're still in a great neighborhood or a place or a neighborhood where there is very little inventory, that is highly desirable. So that months of inventory is still a factor in certain neighborhoods. Now, In September, the unadjusted benchmark price was $831, down over the month and over 2% lower than levels reported last year. Prices have been trending down over the past 4 months and have offset the gains reported earlier this year, leaving the average year-to-date benchmark price 1% below 2023 levels. So far this year, benchmark prices have eased across all property types, but the most significant adjustment has occurred for apartment-style homes. So working backwards from there, apartment condos, apartment-style homes, those prices are tanking. There's a huge amount of inventory everywhere. What we're finding is people who bought those, the so-called investor class, everybody became a real estate investor in 2021 and 2022. Those homes are being effectively fire sale. There is a huge amount of inventory in there. So that is a big problem for folks who are trying to sell those as end users, trying to upgrade or trying to retire, or trying to move back into rentals. Now, the interesting thing, this unadjusted benchmark price of $831, what we're seeing is, as prices are coming down, people's budgets are enabling them to live not just in your neighborhood, but in many other neighborhoods. So don't forget, as prices continue to come down, people are saying, well, hey, wait a minute now, I have a pre-approval for $750. All of a sudden, I'm seeing houses in that neighborhood where the prices were really, really high, for the last couple of years. It kind of looks like I could get a place in that neighborhood again. So not only are you competing with homes within your own neighborhood that are priced exactly the same as yours as a seller, you're also competing homes that are slightly higher in neighborhoods that may have been unaffordable for the last several years, and homes in entry-level neighborhoods that are significantly more affordable. And so, one benefit out of this correction is that people are kind of becoming a lot more aware of how the financial machinations of the state are affecting their pocketbook. And they're saying, hey, you know what? Maybe it's time to embrace frugality. Maybe we live in a world now where a housing market doesn't always go up. Maybe we live in a world where we need to be a little bit more careful with our income, which will most likely, hopefully lead to a more stable market without monthly double-digit price increases again. So an interesting update. What does this mean moving forward for the rest of the year for 2024 for buyers and sellers? Like I said earlier in the video, for sellers, if you're in a neighborhood that is always highly desirable, there's very few homes for sale, you will continue to do well because value always speaks to the market. There will likely always be a market of buyers who are looking to get into that neighborhood. For sellers in neighborhoods where there's a lot of inventory, there hasn't been in the past, or you're in a neighborhood that has more inventory than you've seen in a while, remember, you're competing with all those other houses. What are you doing to set yourself apart in the marketplace? As we always say, price supersedes all other marketing activities. Make sure you're priced for value to get that activity through. Take great photos, have great floor plans, be willing to negotiate, be willing to chat with other people in the neighborhood and see how things are going as well. Now, in terms going on to the year, I don't think we're going to see the effect of these rate cuts into 2025, if at all, just because we're in a very dicey economic position in the moment. People are being very, very careful with their monthly budget and saying, hey, you know what, I'm not really willing to take on a move, big renovation. I'm not going to spend any money at all. I'm going to stay put. And the buyers that are out there are definitely saying, the value just isn't here for the monthly carrying cost of this house. They are out there and they are looking for value. We aren't seeing so many egregious lowballs anymore. We're seeing sellers willing to play ball, but hopefully within the next 6 to 12 months, the market will figure out what homes are worth again, and we'll have a little bit more stability and we'll go from there.